Hey, this is a podcast. No, wait, it's a comedy podcast. Well, we tried to make it a comedy podcast, and it's not meant to offend anyone. So don't get offended, okay? And wait, there's something else. Oh, yeah, yeah. Listener discretion is advised.
Audiomatic presents Our Last Week.
Hi, Kunal.
Hi, Paul.
Kunal, I have some very odd news. I don't know what to do with it.
Okay.
I was informed last night that the leader of the opposition, I don't know if he's the leader of the opposition, but Rahul Gandhi, who's a noted Indian celebrity figure, former member of parliament, has watched my stand up special on a flight.
Okay.
But I have no more information. The guy who, there's a guy who works for him that I know. It's a guy who used to be a banker who now works for the Congress party. And he's very close to Rahul Gandhi. And he said, RG watched your special. Then I messaged the guys. I said, what did he think? And the guy has written back as yet. He just put a smiley face emoji. I don't know whether that means I won't tell you or he found it funny. I don't know. I don't know what these things mean. So, should I care if a famous person watches something that I did 2 years ago? Should we, any of us care?
Well, it depends on, how much. I guess sometimes, like, I guess how much you are a fan of that person does make a difference.
But that's what I was saying. Wondering when this happened. I was like, I said I'm touched and honored. I wrote back in the message, but I wasn't either touched or honored. I mean, the point is, it's never the celebrities you want. I don't know who I'd want. Like maybe for example, I'm a big fan of Eddie Izzard. I would have liked. I think it's her now. Her to come and see it. But it's always like, oh, Eddie wanted to see it, but the flight was late or whatever. So the people you want always don't make it, right? Or last minute forgot or whatever. Um, or someone you think, oh, I've written something very similar to that, what that person's worldview, you know? Um, and then they read it and they said, we didn't like it. Then you think, oh, but this was inspired by you, like that kind of thing. So then you get shat upon by sort of that. So that side of it I've sort of given up. Then there's the other side where the random, unexpected celeb will love it, and often the work was written against that person. Like the work was written because that person existed. Like tomorrow, let's say, if someone did a comedy that was a cerebral, intelligent comedy, right? Because in the 90s in India, we had these comedies made by Govinda and Shakti Kapoor and all that. And they made these really high end, let's say you make a high end comedy as a reaction to that, just against that kind of comedy. And then Govinda and Shakti Kapoor call you and say, this is the best thing we've ever seen.
We have to work
You're a
together.
hero to us.
Yeah.
We have to work together. What do you do in that situation? Because I know it's happened to you. We won't name names, but I know it's happened.
Yeah, no, the thing is that you like see appreciation from no matter and all of these things are separate skill sets, they have separate art forms, what kind of comedy, what kind of this thing, what kind of politician, what kind of these are just shades, these are shades of like things. And everything has its place. But I guess the thing is that if something that you've done, now the problem is that you don't even know whether Rahul Gandhi enjoyed what he saw or not. He just watched
I
it.
only have that laughing
Watching-
emoji, laughing, crying emoji from his assistant.
I think he was laughing at your question. He was like, he was crying, laughing at your question.
Yeah.
Did he like it? What are
Yeah.
you saying? So I don't think there's any commitment there as to what the
No.
reaction was. So I think
He's
that
not
in
committing.
such a situation, like when someone says, Sharad Pawar watched your show or so and so, watching something, consuming something, just like like listening to it, that doesn't mean as much. What did you think of it? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Did you not like the politics in it? Did you then you're at least this thing like, oh, I saw you. Like some people come and say, "Arey, I've seen you." I
Yeah,
mean, like, okay,
yeah.
so now if you've seen you seeing me is not a great, it's not a compliment,
Because
like
see, ultimately we are retail entertainers, so we are like at the shop window.
we are on
So
the
obviously you'll
shelf,
see us.
like
You'll
you're
see us
passing
because
by,
you're
we'll
walking.
be there.
You're passing.
Don't
Yeah.
don't congratulate yourself for being seen, or that person should not be congratulating you for having seen you. I've
That's
seen
like going
you.
up to anyone. That's like going up to
Yeah,
anyone and said, you work in Nature's Basket, na? And he's like, yeah. I went to Nature's Basket. You were there.
I
It's
saw
like, yeah, of
you.
course.
I saw you. You were
Yeah.
there. I like,
It's
yeah,
like, but
because I'm
I
there.
work there.
I work there. Say, you have this
Yes.
podcast, no? You have this podcast, no? Yeah, I have a podcast. Ah,
Yeah.
I've heard about the podcast. I've heard the
Then
podcast
this,
also. I'm saying, okay, so
yeah.
that's
So
it,
what do
but
you
there's
think?
nothing
Yeah,
else.
but
Like,
there's nothing more. Or when it's somewhere odd, where people are like, "Arey, your comedy was playing on the plane." It's like, yeah, there are many things that play on a plane. It's somebody bought it, somebody syndicated it, somebody, like I really think it's quite easy for certain famous people, who people get used to seeing on planes. Arey, this guy's movie is obviously here. Like I think that's a nice stature to get to where people don't bother you anymore. They just take it
yeah,
for
yeah.
granted that this will be
Of
there.
course, it's going to be
I
there. Like
think,
I'm saying, like say a friend of yours worked for Britannia,
yeah,
and you were on a plane, and suddenly someone like you said, "I'll have the biscuits" or whatever, and they gave you like Nutri Choice or whatever the fuck. You're
yeah.
not going to be calling that guy and saying, "Oh, you're on a plane and all that now." Like, yeah,
The
I mean,
biscuit has reached.
a biscuit has reached, huh? Yeah, I work for the biscuit company, man. They make biscuits. Oh, big time.
I think we are still at that level when people see our face, they call you. That's when you know you're not famous enough.
You're not
That's the
famous.
sign of. That's the sign.
Yeah.
Like nobody messages Akshay Kumar, to say 150 people on this 500 Emirates seater was watching your movie. They just take it for granted. Imagine if every single person messaged Shah Rukh Khan, saw your film in Egypt. I was playing, huh? That's you. I didn't know it was you. I know you. You're that guy, na? You live in Bandra. Your film was playing in Egypt. He doesn't get these calls. It'd be nice if he did, though. I bet he
Yeah.
does. I bet there's going to be
he'll
some
get.
guy.
Some guy will call.
His movies made 150 crores. It's 7,000 theaters. One guy will be like, hey, I was in Canada. Shah Rukh, your film was playing. Huh? I saw it.
Some of these guys, I wish that they get calls, where like of people who just call and say, saw your film, hated it, but a famous person, like Arnold Schwarzenegger saw your film, he hated it, huh? He hated it. I think that will also leave a good impact. Like for me,
I
at
yeah.
that level, like for someone to love or hate something that I've done will kind of feel similar because I've sort of gotten a reaction from them. And I think sometimes the stuff you hate, you remember even more. So,
It's better. It's more love actually. It's that's real love. I think
yeah.
one of my I really respect people who will meet you in person. They're like, let's set up a meeting with this guy. Like some guy wants to meet you, and he's taken the time to meet with you. Like from his busy schedule, to just tell you how they didn't like something. Like I really respect that person
I
because
don't know
he's
if I
taken
respect
time
that
off his day.
person, but I enjoy. Like, I have to say I don't know about respect is a very strong word in this situation, and I think that a lot of people, a lot of
Yeah.
executives, and a lot of people, I find get paid even more purely to just hate on things. Like they'll just go
Arey,
from appointment to appointment only to hate things.
I have a friend in Sky here in the UK. I have a friend who's a commissioner, is one of the main commissioners at Sky, and he gets paid more to reject things. Like
Yeah.
let us say he rejects 4 different ideas and scripts. If he can reject 20 in a day, he'll get a promotion.
Yeah.
So
Really
he's paid
rejected. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
just to say no to things, um, and like the other day, a director wrote to me out of the blue, a film director,
Hmm.
about Chaos Theory, a play of mine,
Hmm.
and said, "We must meet. I read Chaos Theory, we must meet." Now, what am I thinking? That if somebody's made time, he wants to work on something, he
Hmm.
liked it,
Hmm.
and he has a similar idea or something. He met me for half an hour just to tell me how it didn't work for him at all.
Hmm.
But then I was like, look at his dedication. He found me on the internet,
He
wrote to
reached
me,
out to you. Yeah.
says, if you're ever visiting America, please, I'd love to
Please
meet.
just get in touch. I want to. I
So
really have to.
I met him. I go all the way to America for some other reason. I make time to meet with him. He meets me just to tell me that it didn't work for him. So that is also a kind of love, if you think about it. If you think about it.
See, passionate hate, is very
Yeah,
close
yeah,
to passionate
yeah.
love in the sense that it's the kind of hate or love that you have to react to. You can't not react to it, So, like a
Yeah,
passionate hatred, you can have a violent reaction. You can get physically violent, or you could you could have a physical reaction to something you hate so badly, spit it out, slap somebody, walk away. And in love, you just can't control your physical. I'm saying that it's like evokes such a strong reaction in you, and I think that at least something that we do needs to evoke that kind of reaction.
that
Not
that
this passive lying down, just laughing, giggling at something. No, 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 no. Either, it has to be this
find the
strong.
artist.
Yeah, find
Find
the
the
artist
artist.
to kiss him, to love him, to hug him, or find him to slap him and to just say, "You
Yeah,
bastard, I just hate you, I hate your work." That's when you start getting fandom, you know what I'm saying? When you have
proper
passionate lovers
fandom.
and haters. Like a Christopher Nolan, like people love his work and hate.
Correct. Hey Kunal, I want to ask
Hmm.
you this
Hmm.
this very petty conundrum. It's not a conundrum. I don't even know what it is. So this recently happened.
Hmm.
Uh, I was sitting next to a lady.
Hmm.
Lady was saving a seat for her dad. Okay,
Hmm.
empty seat. So one guy came and said, "Can I sit here?" The lady said, "My father's coming,"
Hmm.
but her father didn't come.
Hmm.
Like so for a long time, it got really awkward because that other guy just stood there hoping to sit,
Hmm.
in her dad's seat, but her dad didn't come.
Hmm.
So I wanted to ask you, you know, at some point, once the dad didn't come, should she have given up the seat? Because she stayed quite strong, right? We were in a boarding a flight. She stayed quite strong right till the end, till boarding was announced. She won't give up the seat. The father came last minute. He had gone to buy some sweets or some bhujia, and he was like, "Chalo, chalo, chalo," and he got on the flight. But the daughter, I was amazed by the power of the daughter because she kept that seat, and this guy was getting angrier and angrier who just wanted the seat.
No,
And
this is and this was the seat for not the plane. This was the seat for
no,
what?
no, just a airport seat. Sorry, sorry, airport seat. Yeah. So just in that lounge area, we're waiting,
Hmm.
and this woman would just not give up. Yeah, she's every 5 minutes the guy was saying, "But he's not coming. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming." And
Yeah,
she didn't give
you
up
know,
the
like
seat. I realized that I wouldn't have that. Like I don't have that bravery. Like I don't have that kind of bravery or that length of bravery. At some
hmm,
point, I'd be like, "Yeah, sit, sit, sit,"
you'd
because
crumble.
that
Yeah.
guy, he was pacing. I'd crumble because that guy was pacing. At
Hmm.
some point, I would not be able to compete. What would you have done in that situation? You think?
No, I think very good on the daughter. Like I always think of uh, the boy stood on the burning deck. Like that poem always comes to mind, where the boy was standing on the burning deck when all around had left and all that stuff. And his father, oh captain, my captain, our fearful trip is done. And I think of every journey through Indian airports and like railway stations and all of that is like the instruction that has been given to a child or two, and the child is holding fort so bravely, to someone who's gone out to fight battle of the bhujiyas, where you just go and need to buy a cup of coffee or a newspaper or something from a stand, where you're getting into the thing, and someone is holding on the other end and just keeping the flag flying. So I always think of it like, when as a kid I used to keep thinking of that poem every time my mom or my dad would say, now you wait here, okay, you don't move. And immediately that poem would start playing in my head. Oh captain, my captain, the boy stood on the burning deck when Saul, but he had fled. And I used to stand there like very bravely trying to hold fort, and, and then they would ultimately return. But I have to say that this girl did very well, like she, or this lady, and because sometimes I would be worried, like if I had asked someone, like, is this seat available, and said my father's coming, and they didn't come, I would start thinking that it's a psychological thing, like maybe it's something that she says generally, like it's a promise that's been made to a father who left at a very young age, and my father is coming is something where she's just
holding this forever. This is a
forever.
film. Yeah.
It's like a permanent
Yeah.
thing, it's like a permanent state. My father, he's coming. Don't tell me otherwise. Like
And
that
can you
kind of
imagine
thing.
some uncle taps the guys like, "Don't worry," she says
Don't
this.
worry,
Her
she says
father
it to
dead.
everyone.
His
Her
father's
father's
died.
gone.
She
We've
died
just told
long
her
ago.
that he's going to
I'm her
come.
guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take the
But
seat. You
then,
take the seat. Yeah.
actually, don't take the seat. Please leave it alone.
Please leave it. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
because that guy will now not want to sit there because he
Yeah.
think it's his dead dad's seat.
Correct.
That'd be incredible. Incredible. Kunal,
Yes.
conundrum for you about aeroplanes, especially I've just got back from America. American flights. Don't you think we just live in a world where we are now in our 40s? Wasn't there a world where, like, a lot of stuff that we now like pay for, and there's a lot of hype around, was free? Like on my flight just now, it said, "Enjoy our cushion, our luxurious blanket, and a free bottle of water." Like, these were not amenities, right? These were like life things. Like, I'm just like, this plane comes with a pilot. Like, I'm like the other day I booked a hotel and it said check in extra early at noon. For a special fee of £3. Like, no, noon should be when I check in. I shouldn't have to pay £3 extra for it. Like things that we just took for granted as amenities. But now they're taken away from us and now given back to us at a price.
No, you're absolutely right, and I find more and more in every industry, they're doing this. They're taking away things and then charging you for the obvious.
Yeah.
I just think that we need to start, like I've always felt this, is that we need to start applying this to the industry that you are currently working in. Just so that there's some justice. That like if you're an actor, or if you're whatever it is you do, you need to break down the things even further. Like I can do 2 takes, but for every extra take then there's a charge. Like if you need
Yeah,
me.
why don't exactly we don't do it. I never stop in the middle of 30 minutes of jokes and say, "You want me to carry on? You want me to carry on? There's a bucket going around.
Yeah.
Please put some money in it." And not just, I'm saying we shouldn't just charge for things that people assume is for free. We should do it like how these people do it. Hold them to ransom. Hurry, there's a hotel I was trying to stay at in the UK. It said one price, room without window, and price for room with window. Hurry, you should give me a fucking window, na? It's a hotel room. Why would you not give me a window?
What if it didn't have a door also? Like what if it was just a room? It didn't have a door or a window. It was just a box. It was a room. He's saying, but you didn't ask for a door.
I got it.
But how do I get in? I don't know how you get in. It's your room for the night. But how do I get in? I don't give a fuck how you get in. It's a box. It's fucking walled from all sides. It's a huge room. It's like a 15 by 15 room.
You can't get in. You can't get
You
in.
can say door.
That's your problem.
That's your
Get
problem.
a drill. You get a drill. I don't know. You bought the room, you give it the room. We didn't guarantee that you should be able to get into the room.
Yeah.
We never
It's
promised
yours.
you.
It's yours. You do what you want with it.
But how do I go in? And then the public also starts celebrating. They're like, it's a good price. I got a really good rate. There are no windows, and I had to carry my own pillows, but it was a good price. It's a good hotel. And other people be like, shit, you got a hotel room for that price with pillows and a door and window. It's a good deal, yeah. Like after a while,
Yeah.
our values also start becoming like that.
Yeah. So let's get into a break.
Yeah, let's do a break. This is a break.
This is the break.
This is a break.
Welcome to the break.
What was it earlier? Not a break.
That was not a break.
This is a break. During this break, we would like to advertise a product.
What should we advertise?
Hands.
Hands. Yeah.
Hands. Without it,
It's a little tougher.
it's difficult.
yeah.
Get hands.
Yeah.
Live life to the fullest. So, if you don't want to listen to shit ads like this,
Don't listen to these ads.
do something with your life.
Yeah.
Go to patreon.com,
Yeah.
where you will not have to listen to us talking nonsense.
Yeah, and you don't have to listen to this garbage part of the podcast.
This garbage part. You can listen to other garbage parts of the podcast.
and you can listen to it ad free.
for you to be on Patreon, get special episodes, merchandise, live shows,
Yep.
and many other benefits. Go to
garbage.
patreon.com /.
Our last week.
Bye.
Bye.
Now I'll talk for another hour, Kunal, so people switch off immediately.
I think we can just do a low hum over here during the ad break.
Shall I read the Hanuman Chalisa?
No. That because that'll get offensive.
Yeah.
Offend.
Yeah. To religious and non-religious people.
And to people with ears.
Exactly. Yeah. Khan. Zarurat hai. That should be an ad for Spotify. Khan. Leke aaye.
Pal, I went to the museum over here. I'm in Udaipur.
Nice.
And I went to the museum here, City Palace. It's quite beautifully maintained and and given Indian standards, an expensive ticket because I think it's run by the royal family. It isn't government run and all of that.
And Udaipur is a big tourist destination. And also
It
for our
is.
listeners should know this about you, that you are quite intellectually curious in different towns that you shoot in. I remember on the podcast we've told our listeners you were in Hyderabad once and you went to the zoo. Do you remember?
I did go to the zoo, yes.
So you do make use of your downtime by soaking
do.
in the local culture.
Yes. I mean, I try. I don't know, I don't start living with a local family and really getting to know the people and stuff like that. But, at a surface level, you try and know a little bit about the history, etc. But this museum was very interesting. It was one of the part of the palace. The palace is massive. It's a huge palace, one of the largest in the country. And and they've put out some of their stuff for display. So we had a guide with us, and I like always having a guide. I think the guide always adds, the audiobooks and all that are decent. I think, but the guides are fun generally, and you can hit and miss sometimes. But
I love
always,
guides. I love guides.
but I always find that a lot of the guides always have some sort of motivation to finally guide you to some sort of shop. You know?
Yes.
And
Sometimes their
ultimately-
own. Sometimes their own.
It
shop.
could be their own, and they'll keep dropping in. And they keep suggesting they're like these great writers who plant things in their trip. If you're seeing a painting and saying, अगर आपको पेंटिंग्स पसंद है ना तो एक आर्टिस्ट मैं बताता हूँ आपको उनकी पेंटिंग्स तो बाप रे मतलब उनको हाथ लगाना ही मुश्किल है मगर लोग दुनिया से आके देखते हैं पेंटिंग्स को मैं फोटो दिखाता हूँ आपको बाद में so he'll throw it in he'll throw in that there's this very famous artist and all and nobody has access to him but I can give you some sort of access then he might say that in case you're interested then I can take you to that artist and that kind of thing. So there's always some sort of angling or some sort of motivation for and I mean it's understandable. Of course, it's a very limited fee they make. Giving information. So I think they're looking for other forms of get commissions from shops and all of that. But it does become part of the. Part of your sort of experience of seeing a place also is this little bit of
one of my favorites in Hampi was a guy who kept saying the whole time that the basis of all this architecture is stone. ये stone से बना हुआ है sir. And the whole time he says, this is ancient stone from the Vijayanagara Empire. But every 2 minutes he kept saying, nothing like the stone that you'll get at Lakshmi something, some shop that was there, very close by. He said, this is good, but that, Lakshmi, whatever, stone carvers and that shop, that's way ahead of this. And he'd show us stuff from 4,000 years ago,
Yeah.
which is outlasted, which is a relic, which is like sort of marked by the Archaeological Survey of India as like a piece of Indian history. And the guy will say, this is good, but come with me and meet Pawar at Lakshmi statues and carvery or whatever. Then
Yeah.
that is the real place where this is going on. That what are these typically like? These shops have names like Lakshmi and Sons and stuff, and it's just filled with like little bits of trinkets and curios and gods and stuff.
Yeah.
Only thing is, right from the beginning, this guy kept saying, this is fine, but the real stuff is in this shop.
Yeah.
Which, after a while, your tour is not that gullible. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
you can't take people to Taj Mahal and be like, this is amazing. But what you need to do is come to Idris Marbles with me behind. He's got the real stuff. This is just some Shah Jahan stuff that's got all the press.
Yeah.
That's like if you're going to a Pink Floyd concert and there's a tout outside
Yeah.
who's trying to lead you to a smaller band. Saying, Are, these guys are good, but let me take you to another band. Hey, but I have tickets for Pink Floyd. This is Pink Floyd. He's like, I know, but I've got some other thing for you that's better than that.
Not much better. मैं आपको अच्छी चीज
And at
दिखाता हूँ.
some point, the public like you will be, but jump.
Yep.
At some point, you will chuck the guy because he's bull. There's only so much bullshit that you can take after a while.
And there's also a point when both of you are like you're staring at each other. He knows that you're seeing his bullshit. You know that
Yeah.
he can see that he knows that you're exchanging this look. Like, listen, I've been here, I've done that, and he's like, I know you've been here, you've done that, but just come to the store for 2 minutes. I'm like, no, bastard, I'm not coming to the store. Like this is my smile for not coming. He's like, just come and see. I mean, for me, like just because there are kids also there, your wife is there, so all of this is happening. In just like eyes, and just saying, "Arey, just come to the store. Yeah, your wife will like something." And I'm like, "No, I'm not coming to the fucking store. I'm not going to the store." So all of this is happening through.
And the problem
just a
is
few
that
looks.
it'd be much better if we just openly admitted it. Like if he
Yeah.
was like, I'm bullshitting. I need this. I need this. Obviously, the shop is not better than the fucking palace which is built by Maharana Pratap Singh. Obviously not. You know that. I know that. This palace is some 400 years old. This thing is like 12 days old, which was made on, by Raju over here. Obviously, it's not the same thing. But come now, come.
Just see.
Like then it's like, okay, chal, I'll come with you because you're a bullshitter also. Okay, I'm a bullshitter. Come. But they make it sound like it's something. Like this is fine. What you're looking at, the pyramids. This is fine. This is fine. But let me sell you a little bronze dog that's available in the shop.
You will love it.
That is the answer.
What I find whenever I go to some of these shops, like I've been to places in Kashmir and I've been to places, so many different places, and I walk into these stores and they have these fucking massive rugs, huge carpets, like. And then they have these, like, there'll be these wooden, like you're saying, copper dogs, or there'll be these massive heads of wood, and then there'll be a full boat. And then you're thinking, how am I going to take this back? Like, even if I liked it, how much excess baggage am I allowed? Can I take a wooden boat back with me? Like, do I take it in check-in?
Achha,
Do I
you
take
went
it?
a bagel of holiday. What did you buy? I bought this boat here from the 1400s.
It's like a 1400s
It's
boat.
how the Dravidians used to sail, and they used to go for war
Yeah.
in Bengal. They would take this long kayak. So I bought that, and I bought and a phone charger. Just those
Yeah.
two things I bought.
Those two things.
I bought a massive boat. Why did you buy this boat? I met this tour guide.
Yeah.
See, he's also bullshitting. He told me this is a boat from the 14th century, but it's not, yeah. I found out that his brother only made it yesterday.
Yeah. I always think that, like I go to these stores and it's all meant for tourists and all. And of course, tourists can buy t-shirts, dresses, purses, watches, these kind of little things, chocolates, and yeah, of course. But where these other shops are trying to sell you, these massive, massive things, and I'm thinking, how am I? And I keep thinking that for tourism to actually expand and explode and people to spend more money, the airlines have to actually just, I'm not saying to take a full boat, but even if they increased it by 5 kilos or 6 kilos, the impact that it would have on the profitability of a tourist destination would increase.
I think there should be, yeah, exactly. And there should be tickets from tourist destinations for buying weird shit.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to leave with a giant wooden elephant,
Yeah, or like say I went to
there should
Bhutan
be.
and I bought a massive cock. Like they have these cocks over there, like a
Yeah,
penis.
yeah. I've
And I
seen
just bought
those.
like a
And
massive
it's
Bhutanese
just
penis.
you and a giant Bhutanese cock. There should be
Yeah.
some airline. Like Indigo would be like, sir, you
Special
can't
offer. Yeah.
to take this cock, like whatever. If it's an esoteric part of the world,
Yeah.
you should be like, say, if you went to the Vatican, you should be able to leave with a massive cross.
Yeah. Or like a
You
replica,
should
like a life-size replica of the Pieta, for instance.
Yeah, strapped to your back.
Yeah. Six and a
that
half
kind
feet
of
high.
thing.
Like that kind of thing.
Correct. Like if I went to the Red Sea, that water is supposed to be purifying salt, no? That's supposed to cleanse your thing. Now I want to leave with a giant aquarium of that Red Sea water.
Yeah.
Now how will I check it in normal circumstances?
And I think that airlines should expect those kind of things. Like
Yeah.
airlines should say,
Like if you
okay.
go to, yeah, this guy went to Fatehpur Sikri and he bought part of the staircase that was used by Birbal. It's part of the whole staircase from Birbal's palace, and it's 150 staircases this guy's bought.
I mean, that would
And
be
it's
theft,
the
but I'm
size-
saying that like, even if it were a replica of.
A replica, chalo, it's a replica of, like
Because people
Yeah.
tend to buy that staircase, like, oh, say, oh God, fuck, another guy's bought the staircase. As I'm saying, like, it should be a common thing, like, oh, you can't take the full stupa, so we are only allowing 8-foot stupa this time, like that kind of thing,
Yeah. But last time you allowed the full Taj Mahal. What are you doing now? Saying, no, sir, now the rules have changed.
Yeah.
But we're giving you a free glass of water. That we're giving you.
And doors.
Doors. This hotel room comes with doors. Kunal, this has been a quick hour last week.
It has.
Apologies to our listeners. We are in two different parts of the world. So this has been a little bit late. But we will be back on track next week when we will do an extra long listener special. Just so we can, I was going to say make love to you. That's not correct. So just so we can bond with our listeners.
So please do send in your conundrums. We already have quite a few, but we can always add to them. So please do. It's at our last week at audiomatic.in or patreon.com.
Patreon.com/our last week if you want to be a subscriber. And
Yes.
also get in touch with us if by any chance you want to buy a giant Bhutanese penis or, parts of a Rajasthani palace, because we know some agents, touts, whatever. We won't give away their secrets. We know some people who know some people. That's all.
Basically guides. We know guides, yeah.
We know guides.
Yeah.
And at the end of this podcast, I just want to say, Mr.
Bye.
Rahul Gandhi, bye.
You were listening to Our Last Week, produced by Rajesh Tahil and Avdut Khanolkar, hosted by Anuvab Pal and Kunal Roy Kapoor, assistant producer Akanksha Kadam.